Today I'll be presenting 3 different articles that I read in the NCTM Journal. One of them was called Activities for Students, Connecting Probability and Algebra. This was a great article because it allowed students who were in grades 9 and up, preferably for Algebra 2 and up, to be able to connect 2 different concepts that they normally wouldn't be able to connect. And so what they would do, they would be provided formulas and worksheets, and they would have to use graphing calculators, and they would have to follow the steps that were provided for them, and they would have to find the determinant, real zeros, and then construct a diagram, and then from that diagram they would have to find an answer. And then for the second step they would have to follow another set of steps, and then they would have to find areas and then add them all together, find ratios, probability, and real zeros, and then they would compare the 2 answers that they got and see that they were the same. And this activity would help students combine probability and algebra concepts. It would help them to communicate because they would be working in groups. They would be able to share questions and doubts with each other, and they would be able to motivate each other, and also they could possibly be interested in calculus in the future because a lot of what they would be doing would be involved with calculus. Another article that I read was called June 2013 Calendar, and what it was basically like a do now activity, and it was a full calendar for June, and every day the students would have a do now to do, and they would all be different geometric or algebraic questions that they would have to answer. It would just be one a day, and so teachers could do that for the beginning of class, and they could just have the students either refresh their memories from a previous lesson that they learned, or be able to connect different concepts that they've learned maybe previously in other years or something. And this is a great idea because it could allow students to maybe possibly get extra credit on something if the question's really hard and the teacher makes it worth a few extra points. And then the third article that I read was called The Bulldog Lottery. And this one, it connected real world problems with economics and probability. And so what the teacher did, he had the students answer some open-ended questions, and they would all be about government and economics, and then students would have to be able to find expected value, profit, and amount lost, and probability of a certain situation that the teacher would provide. And then they would have to connect these to economics and probability, and they would have to understand the meaning behind all of it and see how the government or state makes up all these formulas to see how much they could profit from our money, basically. And so those are my 3 articles.